Hello, everyone. You are listening to Cinema 5000. My name is Mallory. How's it going? It's the weekend of the Oscars. We're not there quite yet. Couple days before. Hope everybody's having a great time catching up on films that they haven't seen if they're doing so. I know that's what I'm doing. Yeah, we're at 5,726 films. I did get some short films in, which just bumped up the number a bit, but then, luckily Letterboxd is an interesting place where you see somebody watch a movie and you're like, hey, I've actually seen that. And then you fall down a rabbit hole with an actor or director and you're just like, I've seen all these movies. Why didn't I mark these as watched? I'm always doing that. I'm always trying to see that I have my numbers be kind of accurate. Like, I gotta assume it's like 95% accurate of how many films I've ever seen in my life. I do not do much else besides movies, so but yeah, I had a good week of watching movies but not really watching movies. You'll find out in a moment, but we need to start with the first film we're going to talk about on this episode. It's Companion from 2025, directed by Drew Hancock. The tagline is, "Find someone made just for you." And I am going to talk spoilers on this one. I don't know if you called them spoilers, but like, just how things develop for this film if you know what happens in the second trailer that was released for it. And if you don't, just fast forward a bit and if you want to keep in the dark on what happens. A billionaire's death sets off a chain of events for Iris and her friends during a weekend trip to his lakeside estate. Again, spoilery warning. The character Josh, played by Jack Quaid, we find out owns a robot character named Iris, who's played by Sophie Thatcher. She is essentially his ideal girlfriend that he bought, and she's a robot that he operates through his program to control her on his phone. And this weekend getaway he's going to with his friends, she tags along. What Iris doesn't know, however, is that Josh has jailbroken her systems to make her aggressive, which leads to the death of Sergei, who's played by Rupert Friend, who is definitely not Eastern European, Russian, however it is. Yeah, but he's not really bad in the film as Sergei. So they want to kill Sergei, they want to rob him, and all seems to be going as expected until Iris starts to get wind of what's going on, and she retaliates, because once you have put your doll on aggressive mode, aggressive things happen. I was not a fan of this movie, unfortunately. I thought its like assertions of technology and how attributes of Iris are made just felt a bit dated and not really imaginative. There's so many things you could have done with this situation and her character. It kind of stayed a bit safe, I think, and didn't really expand itself. Some of the things of technology that they talked about, they made it sound like she was kind of like a standalone bot who didn't use the cloud. Sorry, any bot that is being used in this sense is going to have her storage uploaded somewhere else to some data center. She's not going to be just on that memory. They say like she has an SSD. I'm sorry, she would have a small bit of flash memory just to keep her operations going. And it just felt like the person writing this movie didn't really have a great grasp on how things kind of work these days. I also was curious about things about Iris that the movie never really talked about, like why she looks the way she looks, if she's supposed to be Josh's vision for some kind of ideal girlfriend. It would have been really interesting if they dropped hints about things that he's kind of into, because the movie doesn't really do that. And she dresses in a very like 50s, early 60s kind of way. Like there's a lot of gingham and there's like these sleeveless collared shirts, headbands and such. It almost feels like the movie is just trying to box her in a certain way. And then again, Josh doesn't have her on a high setting for brain power until things change. Yeah, I was not a fan of this movie. I just felt it really didn't take enough chances and make things a little more interesting. It felt so oddly conventional, and it's supposed to be like not exactly the present time, but a little further in the future. I mean, because essentially we've got robot stuff that does not exist. But also wanting to relate to audiences and just how the world works with dating and such. And there's some things that happen too, like little glitches that I was just like, that wouldn't happen. I don't care what your technology's doing, and if you're doing resets and stuff, it just would not. So there's a lot of conveniences that happen that I felt like were bad choices. I think the best thing about this is maybe just that it looks like a movie. It doesn't really look like a thing you would see on your Netflix or such. It's like there was an effort to some degree in the production, which made me find it not so annoying. But then again, even the things that this movie's talking about with dating really doesn't have a lot of things to say anyway, setting aside the Iris stuff. So yeah, I just was not a fan of Companion. It felt like a January release, which it really is. So Companion from 2025, directed by Drew Hancock, I had to give this 2 stars. But I will say, one thing I did like is there's a lot of music in this movie that has like a throwback feel to stuff about love, like songs by the Turtles and other things that I thought were like a good touch in a not so great movie. Okay, another feature film we're going to talk about is Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Fowl from 2024, directed by Nick Park and Merlin Crossingham. This is on Netflix, folks. The tagline is New Friends, Old Enemies. And I will say, I wish I could have seen this in a movie theater. Gromit's concern that Wallace is becoming too dependent on his inventions proves justified when Wallace invents a smart gnome that seems to develop a mind of its own. When it emerges that vengeful figure from the past might be masterminding things, it falls to Gromit to battle sinister forces and save his master. Or Wallace may never be able to invent. Again, if you've seen a Wallace and Gromit film, you know what you're in for. It's a good, charming, lovely time. I wasn't so much of a fan of like the gnome stuff, but that's okay. The movie was trying to tell me that I should be in Gromit's thought process on the gnome. I prefer The Curse of the Were-Rabbit and probably the shorts. Like, this isn't bad, it's just not as great. And that's okay. I don't know if you're familiar with Wallace and Gromit, folks. If you're not familiar, and you maybe like Paddington, you will love Wallace and Gromit because it's this good, like-hearted humor. It's fun. It's not too quirky. It's like in its own lane, and it's very satisfying and heartwarming and delightful. So many positive adjectives, I could say. There's really no spoiling this one. Feathers McGraw comes back. You have to know that. And Feathers McGraw is as evil a villain as they were before. And this is fun. Lovely animation. It's a good time. Not a lot of time either. It's only 79 minutes long. And if you haven't seen The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, I definitely recommend that. That did win the Oscar for Best Animated Feature years and years ago. Vengeance Most Fowl is also nominated this year at the Oscars, but I'm convinced the Wild Robot is going to win. But yeah, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Fowl from 2024, directed by Nick Park and Merlin Crossingham. I gave this 3 stars. It's a nice time. Okay, I didn't bring up the Oscars page of the nominated films because right now we are going to talk about the nominated films. Come on, Oscars. Let's go. Let's go, website. Come on. Here we go. Nominees page. Well, I have gotten the chance to watch a number of the short films nominated this year. The first one we're going to talk about is Anuja. That is nominated for Best Live Action Short. I watched it on Netflix. It's from 2024, directed by Adam J. Graves. No tagline. The summary goes like this. When a brilliant 9-year-old working in a sweatshop gets a chance to attend school, she must make a difficult choice for her and her sister's future. In case you don't know, in a lot of sweatshops, there's a lot of child labor practices that happen that are for, terms of being illegal or not. Children are supporting their families through forced labor, and it's a really difficult situation and terrible. Children should not be working, they should be in school, and that's what Anuja wants to discuss. I don't think this took a lot of chances. It plays a very, kind of straight expected story, but it's fine. It's well done. Acting is good. I would recommend Anuja. It's not going to blow your socks off or anything like that, but in the credits, they do talk a bit more about the real life situations that this movie wants to highlight, and I feel like a full documentary about this would be great, though I have to wonder, is the reason this is a live action short and not a documentary is because the culture and where these places happen, they just let this, this child labor practices to happen, for better or worse. And it's all worse because children are at risk of, being exposed to chemicals in this environment, and just it's a sad practice. But Anuja from 2024, directed by Adam J. Graves. It's on Netflix. As I mentioned, it is nominated for Best Live Action Short at the 97th Annual Academy Awards. Up next, another movie that is on Netflix. This is nominated for Best Documentary Short Subject. Is The Only Girl in the Orchestra from 2023, directed by Molly O'Brien. Trailblazing double bassist Aaron O'Brien never wanted the spotlight, but when Leonard Bernstein hired her in 1966 as the first female musician in the New York Philharmonic, it was inevitable she would become a focus of much interest and fascination. Now 87 years old and recently retired, Oren looks back on her remarkable life and career, insisting that a fuss should not be made, much preferring to play a supporting role of the family, students, friends, and colleagues that surround her. I liked the subject matter. I grew up in going to youth orchestras and playing cello, and let me tell you, having a bass player, a double bass player that is tough to come by, especially in youth orchestra. So the New York Philharmonic hiring the first woman who plays double bass, it should not shock anybody that it would be a double bass player. But Oren O'Brien is a really lovely person. I really liked knowing about her, but I wish this was longer. It just feels like a, flowery subject kind of thing. And I actually think this is probably what is going to win Best Documentary Short Subject. And I will say there are other things nominated that I prefer to win. But I think this is fine. It's, 35 minutes about this person, their life, their family, how they see music. And it's a nice film. And I think this is actually something that's very suitable for youngsters when they can learn about music and be exposed to like the way that music brings, individuality and creativity to the world. And I liked Oren. I liked seeing this. It's fine, but we need to move on to the next short that I ended up watching, which was I Am Ready, Warden. I watched this on Paramount Plus. This is from 2024, directed by Sumitri Mundhar. In the days leading up to his execution, Texas death row prisoner John Henry Ramirez seeks redemption from his victim's son, an elegy about the death penalty where a prisoner seeks forgiveness. This shows that there's really no winners when it comes to the death penalty. Yes, this man committed a terrible crime, but is there really peace that will be given in his death, forced by the state? That's the movie's question here, and it does not just talk about the family of the man who is up for execution, but also the family of the man who lost his life. This is a good one. I like this one. I Am Ready, Warren from 2024, directed by Sumitri Mundhar. Give this one a shot. Check it out on Paramount Plus. It is 37 minutes long. Not too long, of course. It is a short. But yeah, this would actually, I think, be really interesting as a longer subject too. So yeah, let's talk about what is next. We have Incident. This is from 2023, directed by Bill Morrison. How police react when a killing is caught on tape. Chicago, 2018. A man is killed by police on the street. Through a composite montage of images from surveillance and security footage, as well as police body cams, Incident recreates the event and its consequences, featuring a vain justification, altercations, and attempts to avoid blame. Bill Morrison delivers a chilling political investigation in search of the truth. Guys, go to YouTube now and watch Incident. This was far and away my favorite of the documentary short subjects films nominated this year. It is so terrifying and so horrible and heartbreaking to watch. Yes, it is about a murder at the hands of the police, and as this documentary goes on, I was more and more horrified about everything. it's incredible. It is on YouTube. Please look this up and watch it. Yes, it is a difficult watch, but I think it's one of the better difficult watches. And frankly, of all the movies nominated for anything this year at the Academy Awards, this is like up there with the top like best films, period. It reminds me of the documentary The Perfect Neighbor that I watched through the Sundance Film Festival online. That is another story told through body cam footage from police officers, though a different kind of incident for sure, but incident here. Just a terrific film. I definitely recommend it. Directed by Bill Morrison. Okay, so up next we have Instruments of a Beating Heart from 2024, directed by Ama Ryan Yamazaki. First graders in a Tokyo public elementary school are presented with a challenge for the final semester, performing Ode to Joy at the ceremony for the new incoming first graders. Ayame, who often struggles to keep up with the group, is determined to play a major part, the big drum. This is really, unfortunately, kind of just a typical documentary about this one moment of time of these students just learning how to play instruments, and Ayame's frustration with having to keep the beat, but her persistence as well. I hate to say it, just not really impressed by this one on any level. It just seemed kind of typical. I don't want to be so critical about that kind of stuff. Like, I wouldn't say it was bad. It just, comparing it to Incident, there's just really no comparison about what it offers, because this feels like one of those more flowery things, and I hate saying that, but it is what it is. So Instruments of a Beating Heart from 2024, directed by Ama Ryan Yamazaki. It's fine. It's also on YouTube if you want to check it out, but it's by no means like my favorite of these documentary short subject films. The last one we're going to talk about is Death by Numbers from 2024, directed by Kim A. Snyder. 4 years after being shot with an AR-15 during the Parkland school shooting on February 14th, 2018, Samantha Fuentes reckons with existential questions of hatred and justice as she prepares to confront her shooter. This is about one woman grappling with what her life is, what her life was, and what kind of future she maybe has to look forward to, but also facing what could potentially be like one of the most troubling moments of her life after such horrors, which is the sentencing and the conviction and possible sentencing of the man who killed many of her fellow students at her school, like friends, people she knew. And she wants to reflect on her life, and she talks about it here in the film. I think it's a good documentary. Kind of falls into a lot of traps that short subject documentaries do with like this sort of almost a narrative like way of structuring someone's life. But Sam is a very interesting young person, and I can only hope for the best for her in the future, because this massacre that happened at her high school is going to follow her for the rest of her life, and she has no choice about it. And the murderer took away her future in a lot of ways, and the way she talks about it, it's heartbreaking. It's very sad, but I think this is a good documentary. So Death by Numbers from 2024, directed by Kim A. Snyder. Also up for documentary short subject. So yeah, I would hope Incident would win. I feel like Instruments of a Beating Heart is going to win, though, if not The Only Girl in the Orchestra, because those are kind of the more, lightweight films. But Incident, man, that is terrific. I highly, highly, highly recommend you check it out. So now that we've talked about all the films I watched for shorts and features, we need to talk about the Academy Awards. Yes, we need to do it. We're going to talk about it again. We'll talk about it again after the show. Like on the Monday, I'll record an episode and tell you my thoughts on everything, and also catch you up with any films I have seen. And also go to cinema5000.com. I will be doing a feature inspired by my good friend Sean Patrick O'Brien of the Seltzer Cast, where we assign a seltzer to every film nominated for Best Picture. So go to cinema5000.com and look for that there. But let's talk actor in a leading role. The nominees are Adrian Brody, Timothée Chalamet, Coleman Domingo, Ralph Fiennes, and Sebastian Stan. So I'm convinced Timothée Chalamet is going to win. And here's why. I just can't see Adrian Brody getting another Oscar. Sorry, bro. So yeah, I think Chalamet is going to win. Who would I love to see win? Either Ralph Fiennes or Coleman Domingo. I just think they're so terrific in both films, and It's about damn time for both of them, in my opinion. But yeah, I just think it's going to be Chalamet. It just seems like if they're going to award that movie A Complete Unknown, it's going to go to him. All right, actor in supporting role, we have Yura Borisov, we have Kieran Culkin, Edward Norton, Guy Pearce, and Jeremy Strong. It's going to go to Kieran Culkin. He won every award under the sun. But if I could pick anybody to win, I think it would be Guy Pearce or Jeremy Strong. I just thought they were just terrific. I've been a fan of Guy Pearce for a really long time. And Jeremy Strong, yeah, what a performance in The Apprentice. Like, when he was on screen in that movie, he was so captivating and so horrible as Ray Cohn. Just a great performance in a movie that I really didn't like. So yeah, it's gonna go to Kieran Culkin. I think we all know that. Actors in a leading role, the nominees are Cynthia Erivo, Carla Sofia Gascon, Mikey Madison, Demi Moore, and Fernanda Torres. Yeah, so Mikey Madison won a bunch of awards. So did Demi Moore. Fernanda Torres won the Golden Globe. I think it's gonna go to Demi Moore. Like, she's who I put on my ballot. I just don't think Mikey Madison's gonna win for Anora, because I feel like Anora acting in Anora, I mean, it's good, but it's just not like, it doesn't feel like the kind of performance that wins to me. Yeah. Who would I want to win? I guess I want Demi Moore to win. I did think Fernanda Torres was really great, but yeah, I think Demi Moore is who I want to win. Yeah, I don't think I'm Still Here is a bad movie. I just think I think it's Demi's time. I think she's gonna get it. Actress in a supporting role, the nominees are Monica Barbaro, Ariana Grande, Felicity Jones, Isabella Rossellini, and Zoe Saldana. I think we all know Zoe Saldana is probably going to win. The highest award recognition for Emilia Perez besides like international feature, because I'm pretty sure it's going to win that. Who would I want to win? Man, this is tough. Maybe Monica Barbaro. I did like her a lot as Joan Baez in A Complete Unknown. But these nominees are really not like favorite supporting performances for me, really. Isabella Rossellini, I think she's just not in Conclave enough. I don't like Felicity Jones in The Brutalist. And Ariana Grande in Wicked, yeah, she's good. I don't know. It just never feels like a really fantastic performance. It just feels spirited, you know? Yeah, but Zoe Saldana is pretty much gonna win. Animated feature film, the nominees are Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Fowl, and The Wild Robot. Again, would love to see Wallace and Gromit win, but I think it's going to The Wild Robot, because Wild Robot got 3 nominations total, which is, yeah, a lot for an animated film. So, yeah, that's what I'm going with, Wild Robot. Animated short film. Now, I haven't seen any of these, so I have no idea. Beautiful Men, In the Shadow of the Cypress, Magic Candies, Wander to Wonder, and Yuck. I don't know what's going to win. I think on my ballot that I submitted, I think I put In the Shadow of Cypress. It's just a guess. It's not probably right, though. Cinematography nominees are The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. All right, this is tough because set aside Emilia Perez, like any of those other nominees I want to win. I actually think Maria is my favorite of these nominations. I thought that movie was just beautiful. I do really love Nosferatu in the work of Jaron Bakshi, but like I just don't think he's gonna win. I think The Brutalist is gonna win. It is a movie that is cinematography with a capital C, so yeah, I just think it's happening. Emilia Perez has no chance here, I don't think. But yeah, would like to see Maria, but I think it's going to be The Brutalist. Costume design nominees are A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. I think Wicked's going to win here easily, but I would love to see Nosferatu win because I'm a fan. Love the costumes. Just thought it was really beautiful. Yeah, I don't think Wicked has any shot of losing this. I think this is the only award that Wicked gets. Directing nominees are Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Emilia Perez, and The Substance. So I put Sean Baker on my ballot for this because he won the DGA, and it kind of feels like to me, I had this like thought about what's sort of the story of directing. Like he's you know, he's a small filmmaker. He's done a lot of independent films, like sort of on the fly films that are very slice of life and illuminating. So I think, you know, he kind of has the narrative here. I would absolutely love to not see James Mangold and Jacques Audiard win for Complete Unknown Amelia Perez. I think those wins would be terrible. I don't really care for the Brutalist, but if Brady Corbet won, fine. He's sort of fitting the like faction of sort of the foreign like directors, because like there's always nominees in this category who are foreign because of just how that that member body is. Coralie Farge also fits in that. I would love to see her win for The Substance. Like, that is my pick. I would die if she won. Not physically, but just with, joy. But I don't think she's going to win. I'd love her to win, but I think it's going to Sean Baker. I think he's got the story. Everybody needs a story. That's the thing. Documentary feature film. The nominees are Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, and Sugar Cane. I've seen Black Box Diaries and Sugar Cane, and they were both good. I have not seen any of the other nominees. The resounding sort of thought is that No Other Land is going to win here because it has like sort of the best track record in awards wins, and it's had like the most press despite not even having a like formal US distributor, which is crazy. Black Box Diaries I did rather like. I haven't seen Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat yet. I know it's available on Canopy, and Porcelain War is not out there. Yeah, I don't know I don't know what my thought is about what I want to win, but I gotta assume No Other Land is going to win because it's the one that's kind of made the rounds in the industry of awardsy things and has like the notices, I guess you could say. And I don't think I know enough about Porcelain War and the other films, Porcelain War and Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, about their reception to really make any conclusions. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. Okay. Documentary short film. Death by Numbers, I Am Ready Warden, Incident, Instruments of a Beating Heart, and The Only Girl in the Orchestra. Again, I think Instruments of a Beating Heart is going to win. I would love to see Incident win. I don't think it's going to happen, but Incident, far and away, my favorite in this category. Film editing, Honora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, and Wicked. So I think I put Amelia Perez here. I just think, I think of this category, Best Editing, and I think of the worst win I've ever seen for an Oscar, which is the movie Bohemian Rhapsody winning. So I'm shooting for the bottom. What would I love to see win here? I don't know. Maybe Conclave. I don't know. I can't really say The Brutalist here. Actually, watching The Brutalist, I had some like minor complaints about how sort of things kind of moved in that first half of the film and its editing. Yeah, some of the choices there, I think like it kind of deadens the pacing of the film. It's hard to explain without talking about the movie in a bigger conversation. Yeah, so I would love to see Conclave win, but I really think, I'm so sorry to say, I think it's going to be Amelia Perez. International feature film. The nominees are I'm Still Here, The Girl with the Needle, Amelia Perez, The Seed of Sacred Fig, and Flow. I think Amelia Perez is going to win. I'm so sorry. I've only other films here. I've only seen I'm Still Here and Flow. So I guess I would want I'm Still Here to win or Flow. It doesn't really matter to me. Do I want to see The Girl with the Needle this weekend? Yeah, I think I want to see that. And Seed of Sacred Fig, I don't know if I'll have enough time before the awards show. We'll see. But yeah, I just think Amelia Perez is going to take it, unfortunately. For makeup and hairstyling, the nominees are A Different Man, Amelia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. So I think The Substance is going to win, and I'd love for it to win. I'd also love if Nosferatu came in and won. That would be great. What if, okay, split the difference. What if Nosferatu wins makeup and Demi Moore wins Best Actress? I'd be happy with that, but no, I think The Substance has got this in the bag. That just has this transformation of not just Demi Moore, but also the effects work that it has when it comes to bodies, and yeah, I'm not gonna describe it. Also, someone had to make Dennis Quaid look like that, not like in a bad sense, but just make him look, nasty and like icky. No, I'm kidding. He looks like that all the time. All right. All right, up next, music original score. The nominees are The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. I think The Brutalist is gonna win. That movie has like the announcement of itself within the film, like da 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 dum, and that's so memorable. But is it memorable for the Academy? I don't know. What would I want to win here? I guess maybe Conclave. I don't remember most of it. Emilia Perez. Oh, please don't. Wicked. What if that wins? Oh man, I don't know. I just feel like The Brutalist has it in the bag. It's got the thing that sort of defined like what a score was in this latter half of the year, at least for, you know, these movies nominated, sure. But Conclave I would like to see win. I think I would like to see Conclave win multiple things in general, just because it's a movie that, despite like me having like beef with Edward Berger and his All Quiet on the Western Front film, it feels like a successful like drama film that we just don't have these days. Okay, music original song. The nominations are, I'm gonna go by title here: El Mal from Emilia Perez, The Journey from the 6888, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Emilia Perez, and Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late. Well, I think El Mal's gonna win, which is bad. I gotta be honest, I think I would prefer Mi Camino to win here. I didn't hate Mi Camino. I think that's the only good movie in the film. But no, it's going to be El Mal, because that's the whole number with Zoe Saldana and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know about the other songs. I have heard that Elton John song, I think, briefly, and it's just kind of typical stuff. Yeah, I'm disappointed in this category. Clearly, this and score needed challengers for sure. All right, so Best Picture. They do that on the nominee thing page on Oscars. I'm on Oscars.org, not com. That explains it. Best Picture nominees are Anora, The Brutalist, Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. I think Conclave's going to win. Here's why. They do ranked choice voting for the Oscars. I don't think anybody hates Conclave. I don't think anybody likes enough of the other nominees enough. I would be shocked if it was Anora. But The Brutalist feels like the more conventional kind of Oscar-y film, but I think like some voters would just watch Anora and be like, so what, who cares? Like, she's just a New York girl, whatever. On Complete Unknown, like, God, no, oh goodness. That's my like probably worst win. That could happen. Like, I won't say worst win is Wicked, because I just don't think that's going to happen at any point. I've kind of like come to the conclusion that I really don't care about this category. I hate to say it, because none of these movies are like anything I'd have in my top 10. Like, The Substance probably comes close, but I do love that The Substance is nominated. So I think Conclave is going to win. What would I love to see win? Truly, The Substance winning would be so incredible and hilarious and just great. And I don't mind Dune Part 2. It's just that's a movie that's really left with me with a feeling that it's just technically great and nothing else, unfortunately. But yeah, I think Conclave is going to win. That's my take. And that's me going against the thought process of like, you know, SAG is not always right. I gotta say, I know SAG is never like for best ensemble, like when they best cast of the film or whatever, when they pick that, it's not always the one that wins. But I just feel like Conclave just has that thing. It has that thing of like, it's a dramatic film that doesn't take too many chances. It's not too outside the box. It's not too independent. It sort of fits, you know? And it seems well liked. I could be entirely wrong, of course, but yeah. Production design, the nominees are The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. I would love to see Nosferatu win. Dune Part 2 winning here wouldn't be bad either. I just think this goes to The Brutalist, and here's why. I know, it's funny, I've seen other people say like they don't think it's gonna win. This is a movie about architecture, okay? A movie about architecture has to win a production design Oscar. I don't make the rules, no. I am probably very wrong on that. I don't care. I just don't think Wicked's gonna win. It is such a disgusting looking movie. Like, it's something sicky and icky about it. And for all its grandiosity, so much of it just feels really cheap and bad. But I think The Brutalist is gonna win. That's my take. I would love to see Nosferatu win. It probably won't, though. Live action short film. Here we go. Aline, Anuja, I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger, and The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. I have no idea what's going to win here. Anuja is fine. What if that wins? I don't know. I have no idea. We're just going to move on because those categories, who can say? So sound, the nominees are A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. I think A Complete Unknown is going to win. I know people won't agree with me on this, but I just got to say it's the music thing, you know? Though then again, Amelia Perez and Wicked have music. I don't know. I just don't think Dune Part 2 is going to win. I think Dune Part 2 is going to get our next category. So yeah, I'm convinced it's Complete Unknown. What will win? Maybe Dune Part 2. I don't know. So yeah, visual effects. Nominees are Alien and Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. I think this goes to Dune Part 2. I don't, no contest here. I would love to see Better Man win. That would be hilarious, but I think it's Dune Part 2 here. And, yeah. Sorry, Robbie Williams. Up next is Writing Adapted Screenplay, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. I put Conclave here. I think that's going to win. I just think so. But what will win? Please don't let it be Amelia Perez. Oh no. It would be a nice surprise to see Sing Sing win here, or Nickel Boys. As long as Amelia Perez and A Complete Unknown don't win here, I'm happy with anybody that wins. But I put Conclave. I put it on my thingy. For writing original screenplay, our final category, the nominees are Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, and The Substance. I personally would love to see The Substance win. Wouldn't that be great? Get Corley an Oscar. She's awesome. But I think it's Anora. I've said this before. Anora just feels like, at the very least, it's going to win this category, and that is I think Sean Baker's going to win director, but I just think Anora is going to get original screenplay. It just feels like that token indie thing where it's a small film, but it's, got some popularity to it, and where does it succeed? In original screenplay, because it's like, good for you, you did your original movie. Yeah, I would love to see The Substance win, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Outside chance is Jesse Eisenberg for A Real Pain, but I don't know if there's enough support for that movie, above all, considering that it only has 2 nominations this year. So that's my take, the things I'm sort of saying, what I think is going to win, and what I put on my what I say for what I think is going to win is what I put on my ballot for my Oscars ballot-y thing, like ESPN thing, and for Oscar pool stuff. But I'm looking forward to watching the Oscars, hosted by Conan O'Brien. It's going to be a good show, going to be a good time, fingers crossed. Anything could happen on Oscar night. But yeah, that is the episode. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Mallory. Hope you have a great weekend before the Oscars. We'll talk again on Monday about the Oscars show, and then I think we're going to have a regular episode on Wednesday next week. So there'll be 2 episodes next week. Yay! And check out cinema5000.com. The episodes are now going to get uploaded to YouTube. Yay! Go to YouTube and search Cinema 5000 podcast. I have put the first video up from the last episode, and I'll be uploading them on cinema5000.com as well, so you can watch it there or over there, or rather listen there or over there. Yeah, you can follow along on Bluesky as well as Cinema 5000, and if you want to send an email, send it to cinema5kpod@gmail.com. I'm Mallory. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk on Monday about those Oscars. They start at 7 p.m. this year, so don't forget, early start time. Set your DVR. Also on Hulu, hosted by Conan O'Brien, ABC in the United States, and check your local listings or just Google, or if you're not in the United States. All right, we'll talk later. Okay, bye.